Carey and the chair for the 2022 HBA Ambassador Awards event. Good afternoon, good evening, and for those of you in India, it is officially your bedtime unless you're Dr. Deepa. It's great to be back in our ambassador community after all of the lockdowns from the pandemic, especially the day after International Women's Day. We are going to celebrate those who have gone above and beyond for the advancement of women in the workplace. But before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. If you had a chance to go into our lobby, fantastic. But if you didn't, let's look at what our lobby looks like going from left to right. Starting at the far left, you will see our team banner. And I just want to say congratulations to all of our team for a job well done. It's been months of looking at our and developing our program. So congratulations, job well done. And it's been great to work with all of you. As we go on, let's take a look at the selfie booth. I hope you've had an opportunity to look at our selfie booth, look at our master class list. And if you click on the master class list, what you will see is live links. And if you haven't registered for a master class yet, this will take you to a registration link, and then you'll be able to join a master class. After the masterclass, we do have a networking session. And the next banner is our champions. Congratulations to all of our champions. I also want to share with you that we are excited that we have 2 strategic partners. We can't do programs like this alone. It took a collaboration of 2 strategic partners. The platform that we're on right now is called View. And our masterclass is going to be in Loop. So let me introduce our fearless leader, Bonnie. Bonnie, take it away.
Welcome to all of you from the Americas. We've had a wonderful journey so far today around the world, starting in Asia and then moving to Europe and now to the Americas. So welcome to our colleagues from Latin America and Canada and the United States. Today, you're going to have an opportunity to see some of the exceptional accomplishments that have happened within the Ambassador program. And we're delighted to start out with our keynote speakers, and they are from Otsuka. And the reason that you're going to find this an unusual opportunity is because everybody's talking about engagement today. How do I keep my team engaged? How do I keep my employee base engaged? And it is a complicated, difficult question. But our 2 keynote speakers, Desiree Priestley and Teresa Britt, are going to show you how they did it with 500 people over a relatively short period of time. So I'd like to bring to the stage now Desiree and Teresa, and they'll tell you more.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
All right, I think we'll start at the beginning. Is that where we should start, Bonnie?
Always a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. So in late 2018, I think this journey really started for our program here at Otsuka. And a couple of our executives were interested in creating our very first employee resource group. That wasn't something that Otsuka really had here. We figured that we're a very inclusive environment, so we didn't think it was needed at that time. But things have changed very much, and then, all across the globe pretty much. And so they wanted to bring forward employee resource groups. And the first one they wanted to bring forward was something around women. So one of the executives asked me, because I had been a volunteer with the Healthcare Business Women's Association for, I guess, about 3 years at that point, what HBA was all about. And so with that, I partnered with our executives and they presented it to the executive leadership team. And it was endorsed that we could become an HBA Purple sponsor. So at that point, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were told to put together a team and sort of drive this initiative throughout the organization. So the very first person I tapped was Teresa Britt here, because she is operational excellence. And we established the Healthcare Business Women's Association at Otsuka, and we had 5 members. And from 5 members throughout that very first year in 2019, we scaled up to 200 different members. And that was really with the help of Teresa. But I was certainly passionate about bringing it forward to Otsuka. We started with very little, but HBA was incorporated from the very start. We had a few different people like Lynn Paolicelli, Amy Turnquist, really advise us and help us along the way. And then Teresa went through and really established a great structure for us to get us set up on the right track. And that's how we were able to scale pretty quickly in that first year. But Teresa, you want to talk about why you got involved?
Sure. Yeah, so I was really excited to be asked to be part of this kind of inception of bringing HBA into Otsuka. I've been in pharmaceuticals for my entire career, and I had really never kind of jumped in and gotten involved with HBA. I had a lot of friends that were actively involved, but I really never prioritized it. And this was an opportunity for me to jump in and say, yeah, let me be part of bringing this to Otsuka. So we worked a lot on structure, because it was important that it couldn't just be Desiree and I, it couldn't just be our ELT. So we pulled together a steering committee. We have an executive committee, and then we jumped right in with the ambassador program also, because that gave us 3 layers within the organization for people to be networking, for us to have influence, and for us to start to kind of build out the breadth of the organization. But the piece for me that really kind of got the fire going for me was attending the national conference in 2019. And it hit me that I had been missing out for years with not being involved with HBA. And that really lit a fire with me. I don't think, Desiree, you were able to attend the national conference, but I was there with another colleague of ours who was very actively involved. And her and I were there, and we were overwhelmed with just being surrounded by so many amazing women and having access to so much great information, and dedicating a day and a half to just my leadership and getting to know other women was so inspiring to me. And I remember Kim and I said, we've got to talk to Desiree, because we've got to bring this content to the organization. And we were so motivated by the ACE award that we said, in 2 years, we want to be up on that stage. And so we set a goal for ourselves. Yep. And that is really kind of how the whole thing started.
And then as you went through this and you were building the level of engagement up, your level of engagement standards were pretty high. This wasn't about just assigning a membership to someone. This is about somebody owning their own journey, which is very consistent with what we're doing with the ambassador program. That was a big mindset leap for people. So how do you think that happened? And then how did you take it eventually from 0 to 200 to 300 to now 500? And I'm not talking about memberships. I'm talking about people who are actively engaged in their own journey and feel that Otsuka has given them the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll jump in first. I think the thing that helped it was Desiree and I took this stewardship of the program very seriously. It was a financial investment for the organization, and we'd been involved with things that we had seen people start, and there was, there wasn't skin in the game, and there weren't expectations that were put out there. And the next thing you know, it kind of falls by the wayside. So one of the things that we did was we established an expectation that all members were going to be actively involved, and we recorded attendance, and we worked really closely with HBA to understand who was attending what events. And so we had an expectation that everybody would attend at least one event a quarter or 4 events a year, so that we could really start to make this stick, and people could, and our members would get the benefit of the program. We knew that if they would attend programs, they would have that same experience that we did with the value. And so we put that expectation out there, and we encourage people to go with their friends. We encourage people to take a buddy. We coordinated events for people to attend as groups. And then we did a lot of encourage people to cross share what they'd learned. And we set up forums for somebody who attended a program to then come share it with their team. So there was a lot of expectation setting that we had, but then we also created a forum for people to be able to pull that through and get involved, you know, in other ways.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that we did from the beginning, not only was involving HBA, but we relied on HBA for our content, and then also understanding the metrics. You know, we asked questions right up front to say, to maximize the membership, what does that mean? And so the most engagement comes from people that engage in at least 4 programs per year. So we said, great, that's what we're going to measure. We're going to make sure our people are attending 4 programs per year. And when we started this, it really was solely focused on HBA. It evolved to becoming the network of Otsuka women. So, you know, in 2019, we just called it HBA. In 2020, it became the network of Otsuka women, which we're representing here today. But that evolution came over time. And I think it was with all the learnings and that very close partnership with HBA. And at this point, we do have it hand in hand. Everyone that's part of the network of Otsuka women generally is a member of HBA. So we are talking about memberships of upwards of 500. You know, we have been purple level sponsors since 2019, and we even had an expanded sponsorship this year, so more people could join and really participate in the HBA programs. But one of the points that Teresa made was we really leveraged HBA content to be the basis for our educational opportunities for the women that engage in the network of Otsuka women. So Teresa will talk more about it, but we established lunch and learn series. We have what we call Now Connects, and we have those each and every month. And those are different forums for people to learn something, to network with others, and really give opportunities to people that are raising their hand that say, I want to volunteer, I want to do something, and have presence within the organization in a safe space where they can learn and develop their skills. So I think those things have been really pivotal to why it's been successful.
Yeah, I mean,
another pivotal piece here is for people who are on the call to understand what that number 500 means. Please tell everybody on this call the total number of employees you have at Otsuka US.
Yeah, so we have 1,800 employees in our US-based company. And so that represents about 2/3, just under 2/3 of our population is part of Now. And Now consists of women and men. Yep. We have a surprisingly high number of men that have been wanting to get involved as they saw their teams of women and women on their teams get actively involved. I think they wanted to to catch up, and they didn't want to be missing out. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to know what type of content, their teams were learning about. And so we have a really big male following and huge male sponsorship and support for Now.
Yeah, they sit on our executive committee and our steering committee. We don't have any ambassadors yet, but we do have men.
We're considering that for next year. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we can talk just a little bit. Oh, sorry, Bonnie, go ahead.
Just let us know when you'd like us to show the videos and slides of some of these people.
Yeah, so let me just set this up just a little bit. So one of the ways that I think we really were able to get so many people involved and active was, as Desiree was saying, we did have these lunch and learn series, and we have these monthly connects. And these monthly connects are not Desiree and I presenting. It is our members who are presenting content or interviewing people, bringing leaders to a group of people to get to know each other. So what we've really tried to do is expand that involvement, where people see and a member sees their friend, or they see, their colleague, and they say, wow, they're presenting to 100 people. I can do that also. Yeah. So that is really what has gotten people so excited. We also have an ambassador program that has about 20 some people. And you guys have just heard our story, but we thought maybe it would be nice for you to hear from a couple of our ambassadors. So we have two quick videos, and then you're also going to see 2 slides that actually have stories that were submitted about how now or being part of our ambassador program has influenced them personally or has helped accelerate their career. So if we could jump to the videos.
It's been such an exciting journey to be an ambassador, and there's definitely been so many gains, and just a few that I'd like to share with you. I think most importantly, the opportunity and the doors that have opened for me to collaborate within my organization with so many wonderful, strong, leading women has been phenomenal. So for me, it has really helped me to grow both personally and professionally, and along the way, develop many friendships with fantastic women that I have been able to lean on and gain so much from. And even more, I've been able to be a part of the Me Now Mentoring Project team, which has thrust me into being part of a project to bring a mentoring program, the first of its kind, to our Now members at Otsuka. And that has just really helped me grow professionally and work with a fantastic group of women. And also I've had the opportunity to participate in the HBA annual conference and in turn give back to our group of Now members and present. So again, I can't thank Otsuka enough for allowing me this great opportunity and being able to work with so many fantastic women across our organization, across many different functions that I would have normally not had the opportunity to do so. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie, and I am one of the new ambassadors for Otsuka HBA Now. I have been actively participating in the HBA program since it first started here a few years ago, but this is my first time becoming an ambassador, and I'm really excited about the opportunity. I've seen a direct correlation between my own involvement with HBA and then my professional development as well. And I'm really excited to see the same being able to come true and being able to be a part in that and actively participating in the development of my colleagues. I think what I'm most eager to do and get started with is being able to help lead the efforts to influence and engage and interact with HBA members within my own functional area as well as my region.
So, Teresa and Desiree, I know what people are thinking on this call. They're thinking, this all sounds great, but how do these people find the time? I am so busy with my own job. I don't know how I could ever do what they're doing at Otsuka. What would you say to those people?
Well, I think what we would say to those people is just give it a try. Carve out that first hour and see what you think. See what benefit you get from it. Talk to a Now member and ask them how they do it, but just jump in and try. We had a very successful International Women's Day Now event yesterday. We had over 200 people attend, either virtually or in person. And I had 3 people come up to me in about 15 minutes and specifically ask how they could get more involved. So it's just a matter of putting yourself out there for that first 30 minutes or that first 1 hour. And it's very inspiring.
Yeah, I think Teresa and I talk about it often, that it's the favorite part of our week. I mean, some of it is busy and we find time. I mean, Teresa and I are both very busy in our day jobs, but this is something that we dedicate time towards. And I think because we see the impact across the organization, we feel really passionate about making sure that we can extend that impact to other women within the organization. So we make the time just because it's so important, and we weave it into our day jobs too. I think we've done a good job making it part of the fabric of Otsuka, and we've certainly deployed other people to help us out. It's not just her and I. We have lots of people that help out with the initiative. So I'm so proud of the team that does all the work. All the ambassadors, they've done a tremendous job. They're launching 2 massive programs this year. They really increase the engagement, whether it's our field teams or within home office. They're instrumental to the success of this program. So it's really all hands on deck, and I'm just privileged to be part of it. along with Teresa. So.
Yeah,
And
I think the other,
go ahead.
I think the other thing that what we've tried to do is that anybody who even shows any level of interest, we get them involved. We connect them with someone and, help show the way for them. And, just help them find that path. Yeah. So give it 1 hour and see what you think.
Let's also open it up to questions from the audience. If you have a question, please type it into the chat and we'll have a few minutes for Q&A with Teresa and Desiree. So let's take it down to the individual person. So you have someone, they're a good worker for Otsuka. They are highly regarded in their functional area, but that's where they mostly live, in that cocoon of their functional area. Now they hear about your program, they hear about the Ambassador program, they hear about your overall initiative. What do you think happens psychologically for them to then get out of that cocoon?
I think what they feel when they're willing to make that connection is, I think they realize that they've been missing something by being in the cocoon. And we get a lot of feedback from people about this. We just onboarded our second cohort of ambassadors. And one of the resonating comments that was made was that they were so excited to be on a call where they were meeting people from other areas of the organization. And it's created a forum to get out of that cocoon. And I think people initially want to get involved and say, well, how can this help me with my career? It's something good to put on my resume. And then they attend an event and they are introduced to just amazing women that have interesting stories, and they see the different opportunities, and it just opens it kind of opens people's eyes. And it's such an accepting forum of having women that are all passionate about the same things, lifting each other up. And it's your biggest cheerleading squad you will ever have, is being part of something like this. And so I think for somebody in that functional space, it's getting to that first meeting and then having that experience, because I mean, that's what we hear all the time is, oh my gosh, I met people that I would have never known, I would have never met. And it just really opens your eyes and gets you excited.
Yeah. And I think it's the ultimate icebreaker. I know Teresa's received emails. I've received emails where the first sentence is about, oh, I was on the recent Now Connect, or I was on the recent Lunch and Learn. And then we're talking about something else that is Otsuka related and integral to the business. But I actually think it's opened up the doors of collaboration across the organization. People aren't shy about reaching out. It's the ultimate icebreaker.
So we have a question. It is, if you could go back in time and give yourselves one piece of advice before taking on this huge project of bringing all of this to life at your organization, what would that advice be to yourselves?
That's a tough one. I think we did a good job.
Yeah. I wouldn't say to go bigger because we went really big. I would probably say that we should have made it a bigger portion of our objectives.
Part of our goals.
Part of our goals.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is, to tie it more into organizationally from a development perspective, and to make it maybe a part of a core objective. When it came to some of the early DE&I initiatives that we were doing, it probably would have been that. It would have been to link into a broader goal or objective, just for visibility even higher in the organization.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I will say one of the things that I'll give Teresa and I kudos for is we didn't have big expectations going in. We just went in with a plan and we executed the plan, and we knew that it could be successful if we put the structure around it to make it that way. I will give Teresa major kudos. She is the most operationally wonderful person I've ever met. She is the key to our success. And I think that having the structure and sort of the rigor that we had in the beginning, it really helped us flourish, and it became bigger than I even anticipated. So I will say, looking back, that's probably the one really great success factor that I would point out. And then, you know, if there is an area of opportunity, to link it to the broader goals, which we're doing now, which is awesome.
And finally, there was an unmet need. You talk about that a lot. That you were surprised by how large the unmet need was. Tell them about that unmet need.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that was probably, I mean, I think we all knew that there'd be an interest when we started this, that there would be an interest to have a woman's ERG. What we didn't realize was, it was kind of like I think it was a little bit of expounding out on the experience I had, where I knew it was something that I should do. And I should do it. I want to do it, but how do I carve out that time? And then when I went to the national conference, I realized it was a gap. Like, it was a gap that I'd had. And I think that was what happened with our organization, is people didn't realize that they were really missing this. They were missing having education, and they were having content that was focused on women, that was addressing women's topics, that was addressing concerns and fears that women have. And that's what makes the HBA content so powerful. And that's why we continue to rely and partner so much with HBA, is because the content is so consistent. It's very relevant. It's up to date. And women are craving that. And to be able to get this type of up-to-date information that helps them grow personally and professionally in 1 hour or 2 hours a month, and not have to be spending hours at night finding the right article about women's leadership or something like that. It was just a huge gap that I had, and that many other people had. And it's like people just wanted to continue to stay involved, because HBA does such a good job of keeping the content fresh and relevant and up to date.
Yeah. And the only other thing I would add is, I think people wanted those leadership opportunities and didn't necessarily know how to get them. And so we provided a real forum to make sure it was a safe space where they could learn and grow and receive feedback on how they're doing, but also have those leadership opportunities. And I will say there's been several different promotions that I've recently signed off on, where it's been cited the different work that they've done with the network of Otsuka women, and really presenting back that HBA content. So that's really exciting for me personally to see, and just to hear how it's impacting women across the organization. It's very cool.
Yeah. In a small organization, it's hard to get those opportunities to present. It's hard to get an opportunity to work, to practice those skills. And that's something that we're very committed to, is that if somebody wants to work on their skills, we're going to give them that opportunity to do it. And it's something that's very tangible. It's not, oh, I have to become this level to do it. No, whatever level you are, we're encouraging that. And it's really provided a lot of confidence for folks. And it's provided a way for people to go about achieving their goals.
And lastly, let's talk about the environment that you've created, because we hear a lot about fear of failure, and we hear a lot about, am I good enough? Am I capable of doing this? What are you seeing on the ground?
So Desiree was kind of alluding to this, that it's a very safe environment. And that's something that I think I'm not kind of emerged, was just this very safe environment. But it's like the biggest group of cheerleaders. And what you hear from folks is that they feel that it's a safe place to ask questions. One of the comments that's been resonating recently is that our members feel that we're having fearless conversations, that we're talking, that we're breaking the barriers on what we're able to talk about. And there's a different level of comfort and confidence to be talking about these things that are challenging for women, or that they were uncomfortable with. They now have women leaders that they can discuss these things with, and help get prepared, or think about how I navigate a conversation, maybe with a male boss. But it's all of these different ways that we've tried to create this very safe space to have any of these conversations with us or with other leaders, and some of our male now members also, to help navigate things that can be challenging sometimes, whatever it might be.
And we've even expanded to overall wellness for our women. We're partnering with our HR colleagues very closely, and we have something called Wellness at Work. And we're doing a partnership all year long to raise women's health issues to the forefront, to make sure people get their screenings and that they're taking care of themselves. So it's beyond even just educational content. It's become part of the overall wellness of our cohort of people that we get to facilitate conversations with on a regular basis. So.
Well, we would love to spend the entire time with you. Unfortunately, we can't. I hope that everybody on the call is making note of their names, and we will have a way to network with them as we move along this year. Also, I'm sure that Desiree and Teresa will be happy to join us in panel discussions and fireside chats as we progress.
Absolutely.
Through the year. So thank you so much.
And Bonnie, we'd like to thank you for all of your inspiration and your leadership and all the help that you've provided for us with not only our ambassador program, but with everything that we've been doing at Otsuka. You and your team and the members we mentioned before who volunteer at HBA have just have been the foundation for everything that we've been able to achieve. So thank you. And thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It was truly our pleasure. And with that, let's then move on to our Then and Now Awards. And I'd like to bring up our first award winner, Dell Jones from Walgreens. Congratulations, Dell.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Let's take a look at your video first and then chat.
Hello, my name is Delsina Jones, and I'm an HR business partner with Walgreens. Before the HBA Ambassador program, one of the things that I struggled with was being able to identify and focus my time and attention on endeavors that truly ignited passion inside of me. The Ambassador Program's framework creates a space that allows you to get laser focused and really honest with yourself. The resources like an advisor and the support of leadership here at Walgreens made my journey one that was eye-opening and much needed. It was a journey about learning to say yes to what truly ignites passion inside of me and thus increases my commitment. Two things I'm excited I've said yes to is my work with Palm Beach County SHRM Association, and most recently becoming an HBA advisor for an amazing group of leaders just beginning their HBA journey. Thank you so much, HBA. Thank you so much to my amazing advisor group, and thank you, Walgreens, for the opportunity.
So, Dell, we had an interesting conversation about your journey so far. And you talked about specifically as a woman of color and some of the challenges that you thought you needed to sort out by always feeling obligated to say yes. Can you share some of that with our audience?
Sure thing. I do think as a woman of color, women in general, but as a woman of color in particular, you feel that the variety of opportunities afforded to you are very limited, if any at all. So when one comes along, whether you're connected to it or not, you feel forced to say yes, because what if you never get another chance? But what I liked about my experience with the HBA Ambassador program is it really disrupted that way of thinking and taught me how to remove the barriers I was putting in front of myself. And it's okay to find out what I'm fired up about and what I'm excited about. It gave me permission, as the lady spoke before me, to be fearless in that decision. And it was one of the best lessons I learned, both professionally and personally.
And I'd like to also add that your journey continues, right? So now you've moved on to become an advisor for the Ambassador Program. And I would encourage all of you who are listening today, you can reach out to Dell. She's got a fascinating story, and also learn more from any of us about how you can continue your journey. So it's not just about these 12 months. That's just the beginning. So absolutely. Congratulations, Dell. I know you've done an amazing job for Walgreens, and we thank Walgreens for giving you the opportunity to do this.
Thank you.
And now I would like to bring to the stage our second Then and Now winner. It is Elvia Molino from Cognizant. Welcome, Elvia. So let's watch the video, Elvia, and hear a little bit about your story.
Hi, my name is Elvia Molina, and I'm with Cognizant Technologies. Before the Ambassador program, I was at a crossroad in my career. I have been in healthcare for the past 25 years. I am at the point of, where do I go from here? What's next? I don't have much of a network outside my immediate group, so I wasn't sure who to go to talk to about the future of my career. I approached one of our female leaders who suggested that I join the HBA and the HBA Ambassador program. Upon joining the Ambassador program, I am now networking with individuals within the healthcare and life science pillar, including leadership. That would have never happened without this Ambassador program. I've also been provided the opportunity to lead programs through webinars, and I'm also leading the group initiative in our Ambassador program. The HBA Ambassador program has provided me a sense of purpose and also a clear focus on the direction of my career. Thank you.
Elvia, we had a fascinating conversation. You've only been in the program for 5 months, and yet there have been some interesting mindset changes in terms of how you view yourself. Can you share that with the audience?
Yes. Before I go into that, I just want to say I'm grateful for the opportunity of participating in this program. But since I joined 5 months ago, my mindset has changed since joining the program. I didn't know that I had it in me to lead, and I needed an opportunity just like this Ambassador program to help me realize that I can. My manager and other peers and colleagues have told me that they can tell that my confidence has increased, and also my leadership skills. I've been told that I'm coming into my own. Hearing this type of feedback makes me realize that I'm on the right track, and I need to keep going, and I need to continue to learn and grow so I can advance in my career.
Kudos to you. I think this is just the beginning. I'm very excited for you. Congratulations on your award. And now we go to our third Then and Now winner. I'd like to invite Mallory Martin to the stage. Mallory joins us from Amgen in Canada. And Mallory, let's take a look at your video that won an award.
I started my career in industry by flying under the radar intentionally. I knew I was good at my job and that my colleagues supported me, but I had just completed a master's in international relations, and now I was an associate on a medical information team. Worried that HR might discover they'd made a mistake, I kept my head down, and any career progression discussion seemed like a non-starter. Since then, I've made the most of opportunities, but along the way, I started to notice that you cannot have meaningful growth unless you own your story. When I was invited to participate in the Ambassador program, I was hesitant because work is busy, but a coach reminded me you should always prioritize your own development. Only halfway through the program, my network has grown. I'm more comfortable presenting and giving my perspective to female colleagues, encouraging them to go for that interview, even if they don't meet the criteria. I feel like I've made meaningful change in my own career, but also helped others do the same in theirs. And I'm not done my journey by any stretch. But over the years, I've picked up a few things, from a female mentor giving me advice or a male ally reminding me to use my voice. And through initiatives like the Ambassador program, I am more excited than ever about where this journey will take me.
Mallory, I see you smiling at your own video. That's great. So when we chatted, you talked about the bubble that you thought you worked in and how you made a change to a more what you call concerted focus. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Bonnie. So, smiling is my baseline. So, but I'm honored to be here as well. So yeah, I thought I was doing pretty well, you know, supportive manager, career opportunities, and a female-focused employee resource group. But it wasn't until my participation in the first part of the ambassador program that I did experience what we've discussed as a concerted focus on personal development. And at Amgen, they decided to create a cohort of multiple countries. And because of that, it was really sort of an angle to more straight up and down in terms of professional development. Because of my network and my contacts, they've grown to, you know, very local to really around the globe. So now the career development discussions are really woven in to my day-to-day instead of just an extracurricular activity that I might do on the side. So really, really excited about the next portion of the HBA Ambassador program, because I think it's just going to continue to grow straight up.
And Amgen is doing a great job of managing all the different people from different countries in your cohort. So we're watching you carefully and learning from you as we go. Absolutely. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you so much, Bonnie.
And now I will turn it over to our global chair, Amina Loban, who will give the awards to our very valuable champions. This program would never exist without our champions. So over to you, Amina.
Thank you, Bonnie. I'm excited to be here today and delighted to announce the Champion Award. These recipients were all internal champions for new ambassador programs within their companies in 2021. Paula Constante Campos, J&J Brazil. Daniela Brisek, J&J Brazil. Cindy Anderson, Al-Nilam, US. Tanya Fisher, Al-Nilam, US. Cheryl Heineck, Synovian, US. Maureen Heineck, Synovian, US. Sarah Robinson, Bayer, US. Laura Comilla, Siemens Healthineers, US. Tiffany Chow Weatherly, Siemens Healthineers, US. Dottie DeMarco, Eli Lilly, US. Ashley Schroeder, Eli Lilly, US. Colleen Waltz, Eli Lilly, US. Ann Neal, Cognizant, US. Melissa Ricker, Walgreens, US. Annie Adedokun, Takeda, US. Kira Connaughton, Takeda, US. Laura Duffy, Takeda, US. Jennifer Navi Sickles, J&J, US. Leah Akri, J&J, US. Elizabeth Sheep, Athena Health, US. Daniel Flaherty, Athena Health, US. Melinda Turnbull, Athena Health, US. Mercedes Dahar, Athena Health, US. Suna Abdul, Amgen Canada. Kimber Oliver, Amgen US. Congratulations to all the winners. And now I'd like to welcome Leah back to the stage.
Thank you, Amina, and congratulations to all of the champions. I am very excited about this next award. It is my pleasure to announce that Sanofi is the winner of the Changing Minds Award. But before I chat with Isabel Valandry, let's play the video to give us all an idea of their big initiative.
All my life, I have benefited enormously from the teachings, mentoring, coaching I've received from the different women in my life. If we want to be truly successful in Play to Win strategy in Sanofi, gender diversity is not a good to have, it is a must have at Sanofi.
As a father of 2 girls and 2 boys, I am well aware of what gender balance means. As a manager, I realize that women often underestimate their strengths and abilities to be a good fit for the job. Therefore, I'm doing my best to help them build self-confidence and always ask them to develop a daring mindset.
We need to make sure that we encourage women to participate to a job opening when there is a process, because I realize that from time to time they are even a little bit scared to participate to the process, so encourage them.
Men and women are getting better at their job, more efficient when they work in a diverse environment. Not just gender, by the way, it can be also social, cultural. It's a fact.
We have to be intentional. I've just been building my own team, and I have absolutely worked on ensuring I've had a balanced slate. I've made sure I've had a balanced panel interview, and I've ended up with a team that's 50-50 gender balance from across the world. So my call to action for all of us as men is not just to say, but to do. So what are you going to do to make that difference?
Isabel, congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you.
Are you getting tired? This is your 3rd session for today.
No, you know, I am powered by the fact that I received this award. Don't worry with that.
Good. So as we have discussed, the role of male advocacy has been a focus of the HBA and the Gender Parity Collaborative. What inspired you and your team to look at male advocacy as an initiative?
Yeah. Before that, I want to thank all HBA thought leaders who recognize Sanofi through this award in Changing Minds category. And I'm very proud to receive this award on behalf of the 8 other great HBA members who contributed to this series of video. And to answer your question, Leah, when we joined HBA, we wanted to make a difference in gender balance efforts. So we started by analyzing facts and facts. So first, today, most of our decision makers at the highest level of our companies are men. Second, it is clearly demonstrated that performance improvement needs diversity and gender balance. So to come back to your question, male advocacy or allyship is not only important, it is a driver to succeed with gender balance.
That's fantastic. So any of us who have sat around a board meeting, we know the first question that we have to ask ourselves, because we don't know if the dots are ever going to connect.
Yeah.
How did you figure out what success would look like?
Well, when we empowered ourselves as a group of women in asking men at a very senior leader position in our company to execute those videos for this campaign, their acceptance was not a given. So the first success for us was that they're all accepted. Then on the second success factor, I would say that it is with regard to the engagement, the number of views of the videos, the number of likes and so forth, but also qualitative feedbacks, especially from men. I remember one which was, it makes me change the angle of my thoughts. So that's close to changing minds. He told me that thinking about the advantage for me as a man of a gender balanced society or company, So, and finally, I would say that the success of this campaign is when it is fully integrated in Sanofi's diversity and inclusion strategy. And Sanofi ambition for gender balance is 50% women, 50% men at senior leaders level by 2025. And today at Sanofi, we have 40% of women senior leadership. So let's continue to change our minds.
That is absolutely incredible. And congratulations, Isabel, to you and your team.
Many thanks, Leah, many thanks.
At this time, I would like to call up my teammate, Marjorie, and we're going to do the Impact Awards.
Thank you, Leah. I am honored to be here and announce the winner. The Impact Award recognizes an ambassador cohort who successfully executed an exceptional global initiatives in their company. This year's Impact Award has been simplified, one winner per region. The judging criteria for the global initiative are idea, engagement, and impact. The ambassador cohorts must present a creative and concise executive summary of their program and share the importance of this award and impact vision. So here we go. The Impact Award winner is Athena Health. Congratulations. And will share their initiative.
Thank you so much, Marjorie. I am honored to accept this award and present to you all today on behalf of our group, alongside my colleague, Allison. My name is Laura Jennings, and I had the privilege of leading one of our Athena HBA Ambassador groups last year. Next slide, please. Thank you. If you could just go to the next slide, that would be wonderful. Thank you. So quickly, I just wanted to show you this slide. It's something that you can find on our Athena Health website. Helps just highlight some of our core values and behaviors at our company. One of which is value everyone, which is really core to who we are and is a value that's consistently supported by our ERGs. I'm going to now pass it over to Allison to talk you through how this initiative came to fruition.
Hi, everyone. If you could move on to the next slide, that would be great. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I imagine that most people on this call know what employee resource groups are, but I just want to say very quickly, first, thank you so much for this honor. Allison Livingston, she or hers. And the second is employee resource groups are voluntary employee-led groups whose aim is to foster a diverse, inclusive, engaged organization. They're usually led and participated by employees who share some characteristic, some social identity, whether it's gender, ethnicity, religious affiliation, lifestyle, interest, and allies are often part of this work. Our employee resource groups, which are listed on the slide here, have been a really essential part of our D&I journey since the 1990s. And while our ERGs have been are key to our D&I work, the focus on execution and advocacy, right, that they do, both incredibly important ERG practices, didn't leave as much room for standardizing operations and governance across the ERGs, right? So we're really good about all the content, but the process to get there was a bit inconsistent. So in other words, some ERGs had really robust processes in place for onboarding, communication, succession planning, establishing key performance indicators, partnering with business units, while other ERGs had little to nothing in those areas. This led to inconsistencies in support from and to the ERGs, which negatively impacted ERG bandwidth and organizational impact. Next slide, please. So as part of our global strategy with our HR division, which manages the ERGs, we partnered with the Athena HBA Ambassador program to solve this problem of those inconsistencies in governance. And after gathering a lot of feedback from ERG leads and other people, other ERG sponsors, myself, other colleagues who've done a lot of work partnering with ERGs, the ambassadors identified 3 problem areas. They're listed on their slide here. The first was about establishing a governance playbook, right? Thinking about how we do the work so that we are aligned and the work is sustainable and consistent. We also discovered there were inconsistencies around praise and appreciation, recognition of the work that really the incredibly valuable work, the work that drives engagement and connection, and learning and development. We noticed that praise and appreciation, again, was inconsistent. We also wondered about, so how is this work engaged and connected with overall corporate strategy and corporate goals? So those are incredibly robust areas. And so as the HBA ambassadors started working, they split up into 3 different groups. However, we needed to pivot pretty shortly thereafter, and we decided to focus our energy on that top priority, the ERG governance piece. Why? Because some of the other pieces could be managed in other parts of the organization. So we really wanted to right-size the work. So we landed on governance. Next slide, please. And Laura, I think this is back at you.
Yes, thank you. So yes, we decided to really focus on the first problem because we identified that the playbook would really be the most impactful thing that we could focus on. It would create a unified foundation across all ERGs, something that could be built upon and referenced when subsequently tackling the second 2 categories. So our group of 20 worked together with ERG leads, members of ELT, SLT, and other Athenistas to pull together the ERG playbook, which ultimately was a 23-page guide that includes the sections outlined on this slide. The playbook will serve as a go-to guide for ERG leads, ERG members, executive sponsors, managers of ERG leads, and individuals looking to join or start an ERG. The playbook pulled together existing documentation and resources and really will serve as a platform for all documentation to live and be maintained to meet the needs of ERGs for years to come. Back over to you, Allison.
Thank you. So the work of the ERG ambassadors really caused some good ripples, some positive ripples in the work that we do. So the creation of the playbook or the governance manual, which we are still in process of drafting and editing. So the HBA ambassador group delivered a beautiful full draft, and now it's up to us to bring it back to HR and the ERGs to really continue to refine. And that was a partnership we agreed on, right? This is something that we own. And so we need to figure out through this great consultation with HBA ambassadors about some of the next steps. And so just this manual alone has resulted in really important dialogues and observations within ERGs, across ERGs, and throughout the business. To speak specifically about the ERG pieces, their 2022 goals reflect an intersectional approach to the work, to community engagement and education, and establishing more robust partnerships with business units. Were we on that trajectory anyway? Sure, but this piece of work really solidified the importance of the work. So upon conclusion of this work, the ambassadors presented this work to the ERGs and to our ELT. And so that got our ELT thinking too about, hey, listen, as you standardize these processes, we want to be part of this. And we also noted that you have wonders, questions, and shared more work about our alignment with corporate strategy and recognition. And now we're moving some of those areas forward. So this piece of work is going to trigger and has already triggered really important transformation across the organization. This one kind of tactical piece of work is pretty important. And I think we're going to the next slide.
Thank you. And if you could just click into the one, I think one more would be great. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this was such an exceptional experience for all of us. Our group of 20 ambassadors were pretty immensely impacted by this, as well as the ERG leads in particular. And we found that really there were 3 key words that helped summarize our experiences in the program: engagement, network, and mindfulness. You can see some quotes from individuals from my group here on the slide, but really to highlight some of the things that they had said, our group of ambassadors was more aware of ERGs and their role that they play at Athena. We want to consider them more regularly in our daily work and try to include them in developmental and team goals moving forward. Our network really expanded through this project as well. We brought together individuals from all over the globe and had the real opportunity to work with each other in a capacity that we wouldn't have been able to without this initiative. And then lastly, on mindfulness, I think that we all really took a step back to think through our roles in group projects and think about how we could be the most active in this project and help ERGs in a way that they haven't had assistance yet so far. So we really spent some time taking a step back and trying to remain mindful of how we could best approach this project. If we can move to the next slide, please, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. Just quickly coming back to value everyone. Here is a slide showcasing everyone in our group. I just want to say thank you to all of the individuals on this slide. Without them, this project would not have been as successful as it was. And really the dedication of everyone here to a project that they really knew little about going into it was pretty incredible. And yes, thank you to them and thank you to the HBA for this honor.
Thank you, Allison and Laura, for sharing this wonderful initiative. I am very sure other ambassador cohorts will likely adopt this initiative to their company. And just want to check with you if you will welcome them to benchmark with you in the coming weeks or in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
100%. And so we bring different perspectives to the space. And so I, of course, would be happy to talk through how we got here. What was the purpose? What was the why? And our HBA ambassadors really took that and grew something pretty incredible.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I want to ask you a question. The past few years have been challenging with the pandemic. How did you kept the momentum of engagement alive in progressing your initiative to build out the shared ERG governance processes and policies?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely challenging with the pandemic, but I think that what was wonderful was we really just kept coming back to the vision of this project and reminding ourselves of the value we'd be adding if we succeeded. We were in constant communication with our stakeholders, and so we were always very aware of how much they appreciated the work we were doing and putting into this. And so I think that was just constant reinforcement of, even though this was somewhat off the side of our desks, it was going to just result in something that of immense value. And I think also the opportunity to network with others and build relationships outside of our teams really brought us together during a year of uncertainty with the pandemic. So I think we were constantly appreciative of having something to come back and network with people in offices on the country and globe that we wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
I agree. I think people were impressed, stressed, scared, ill, juggling. So that meant we really had to be transparent and integrate that context into the work by asking people what they needed and what we could do. And we led with flexibility and empathy. You saw all the folks, or for folks who weren't able to visualize, there are a bunch of people on the previous slide that are part of this effort. And while some folks might say, wow, what a large group, that was the right size for this kind of a project. When we actually double click onto creating policies where folks have been behaving in a way without kind of a standardization, it takes a lot of minds and a lot of perspective. And this group has been incredibly communicative and ready to move into that particular space. So thankfully, we had the number of people on this initiative because this is a pressed time, and we worked really well together.
Yeah, thank you very much. Since we're running off of time, I just want to congratulate you again on this well-deserved accomplishment, and thank you for making a difference. Thinking about it, when a team of dedicated individuals make a commitment to act as one, the sky is the limit. So Athena, thank you so much, and good luck in the future for all the programs.
Thanks so much.
Now I am giving back the stage to Leah.
Thank you, Marjorie. I just want to congratulate again all of the winners as we recognize and celebrate you. A big thanks to our platform partners, View and Loop, and also to our team that collaborated and worked very closely and seamlessly. And I will miss you. I will tell you that, a job well done. And now I would like to turn things back over to Bonnie But before I do that, I just want to thank you, Bonnie, for all that you do for the entire ambassador program across the world. And you had a vision years ago, and look where it's led. So bravo to you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Leah. I don't want to take away too much time from our master classes coming up and our networking session. I just want you all to know that as we move forward in the coming years, the continued success of the Ambassador program will depend completely on all of you. We take our cues from you, we take our direction from you. You own this journey, not just for these 12 months, but after that as well, as we continue to expand the program and what it brings to you. So thank you for moving into the uncomfortable with us. As you have heard from many of our speakers, nothing happens unless you move into that zone. And we know it takes a certain amount of courage. We know you're all very busy in your jobs. And we thank you for making this program the success that it is. And with that, I'll turn it over to Marjorie so that she can tell you how to get into your master classes and your networking.
Thanks, Bonnie. So here we go. When you join the master class and the networking events, please click the back arrow button on the top of the screen. Once in the event lobby, click on the master class and select the master class that you would like to attend. The Loop login page will pop up. So if you have not registered yet, please do so now. For those who already registered, you have received an email from Loop with your password and invite code that you will need to log into the Loop platform. So once you are in Loop, go to the popular topics section at the bottom of the page and select the masterclass topic. Then click on the events. And once you're in the events, select the mini masterclass that you would like to join. Now for the networking events, at the top page of the Loop, click events. On the left corner of the page, click the breakout room, then scroll down and click the networking event that you would like to join. So if you have any issues, please email hba@loop.work. Again, it's hba@loop.work. So now let's all go back to the lobby and attend the masterclass. Thank you so much, everyone. Have fun.